Hello, friends and beautiful people. I am coming to you today from the High Tunnel, and I wanted to talk to you about why you should be growing comfrey. So I have resisted the urge to grow comfrey for a while. I've wanted some, but I've been nervous about growing it because comfrey is one of those plants that once you get it going, it's very hard to get rid of. Kind of like the mint that has still terrorized my life out here. Comfrey sends deep, deep roots down into the ground, and it pulls up all of the nutrients that are down there and brings them up to the top. So you'll see a lot of people will plant comfrey in with their orchards or their fruit trees. We are going to put it in its own happy little place, away where I don't have to fight it. And if I decide that I don't want to grow it anymore, we can just keep mowing it off and maybe it'll go away someday. But just be aware that when you do grow it, you're growing it and it's going to get those deep, deep, deep roots and you're going to have comfrey. So a lot of people grow it for what's called chop and drop. You chop off the large leaves and you drop them onto your garden and you're going to get all the beneficial nutrients that way. And then there are the people, like I said, with the fruit trees and things like that that will grow them there to get all of those nutrients up to their fruit trees to get more fruit, to get more prolific trees. But there's also other things that you can do with comfrey. You can make poultices, you can make salves, which is what I do, and then you can make tinctures, which there's with the alkaloids in it. That's something I am not going to recommend for you. You'll have to do your own research and see if you're comfortable with that. There are schools of thought both ways. Some people say that it can be highly poisonous if you are doing the tinctures with the comfrey, and some people say I've been doing it every day for 50 years and I haven't had a problem. So we're not even going to go there today. But I want to talk to you about some of the things with the poultices and the salves. First, I want to tell you about a benefit that you might not have thought about. So comfrey is full of protein. And lately we've been having issues at the store trying to get poultry feed. They're out, then they've got it, one's got it, one doesn't. And it's, you always want to make sure that you're giving your chickens or your rabbits the right amount of protein. So if you are in a pickle or you're in a situation where you don't have access to necessarily the correct feed to give your animals, you can supplement with comfrey to get them that protein that they need. The protein is super, super important. But some of the other things that it's good for, the slang word for it is knit bone, and some people call it bone knit, but it's really knit bone. And what they used to do was, if you had a broken bone, they would literally wrap the leaves around that broken bone and tie them on there, and your body absorbs the nutrients from the comfrey to help those bones to mend. So it is a great herb for, oh, my little comfrey here. It is a great herb for bone growth. Another thing that it is good for is it's an anti-inflammatory. It boosts your immune system. We actually make here a salve, and it's very similar to the calendula salve that I make, where it acts like a triple antibiotic ointment would. You have to be careful with comfrey though, and this is kind of funny, not funny, but what happens is it's super fast. So if there is still any infection in that wound, it will heal over the infection and you'll have other problems to deal with to get that infection out of there. So you want to make sure that when you're using a comfrey salve on a wound, that wound is cleaned and there is no infection at all in there before you do it, and you want to keep it clean. Otherwise, you're going to trap that infection inside. That's how fast the comfrey salve works. So I will actually make some of this up. I keep a little tin and I'll put it out in the welding shop for the boys. They have a little first aid station out there, and they clean out their wounds or whatever. And if it's burned, then they have to use the calendula salve, and they know that. And if it's, the skin isn't burned, but they do have like a little burn, then they'll go ahead and use the comfrey salve, because that, like, next day it's all better. Some of the other things that it's good for, I have notes, I'm sorry, is it's a pain reducer. So if you have a chronic pain in your body, or if you're recovering from like surgery, you can put salves on there to help your body heal faster. And then it improves, it's great for skincare. I actually have some stuff that I do just for us personally. I do not sell the things that I make with it as far as skincare, but it is great for blemishes. And I've also, it gets rid of like bites and irritations, and I don't really have eczema or psoriasis, but I get little bumps. And usually it's like from working in the garden, how you'll get the irritations on your arms. So I make myself like this little, it's not really a salve, it's more of a lotion slash body oil. And I put that on, I slick my body up with it. My husband, well, we won't go there. And then the other thing is the anti-inflammatory, and supposedly it has, and I don't say supposedly, I feel strongly, but I'm going to say supposedly for you because I'm not a doctor, but it has anti-cancer potential. And I'll just leave that there. So if you haven't thought about growing comfrey, I would definitely think about it. Now I use the Bocking 14. And the reason why is because it is only a root spreader. It's a sterile plant. It doesn't put off seeds, so that you don't have those seeds blowing everywhere and getting all over, growing comfrey everywhere where you don't want to grow it. But the Bocking 14 is the better for the chop and drop also. So definitely think about using the comfrey both for your garden, for your animals, and for yourself. Till next time, be blessed and be a blessing.